Visited this neck of the woods last evening with the result that the lower parts of this famous old St. Lawrence ground by the old lime tree inside the boundary were underwater. So we needed an umpire's inspection to decide that play could start on time this morning. It was grey and hot and really quite oppressive, and soon after that there was a crowd here of 11,000 spectators plus 1,300 cars and their occupants, and the first one I gather had turned up at 5 o'clock this morning. It seemed a very good match in prospect. And we'll look now first of all at the two teams. Kent, relying on the same side which did duty in the last county championship match, the Schweppes Championship. Quite a lot of relatively new names and faces in that side, of course. One or two established now: Benson, Aslett, Baptiste, Ellison, very promising all-rounder. And Essex, for whom the top batting is going very well, Gooch and McEwen setting a new figure in the John Player the other day on the Sabbath, and Brian Hardy restored to the Essex side to open the innings, his first appearance since suffering a very nasty facial injury at the end of June. Now, Keith Fletcher, who's had a very fine season with the bat himself, won the toss, and I don't think it was any surprise because I'm sure he felt that the wicket must have sweated under the covers, no rain on it, and the oppressive conditions he must have felt would help his quicker bowlers, and he put Kent into bat. I'm going to pick up the action in the third over of the innings. Kent have advanced to 3 for no wicket. It's John Lever, that splendid, loyal and dependable cricketer, bowling to Mark Benson with the commentators Tom Graveney and Richie Benno.
Nicely placed. They're good between the wickets, this pair. Shot. He wasn't quite to that, but it didn't make any difference. It was beautifully placed and superbly timed. That's 2 good cover drives we've seen this morning already. One from Woolmer, and now Mark Benson has crashed Lever away to the extra cover boundary. Most unusual field setting out there for a limited overs game. You don't often see 3 slips in a gully to a bowler of, well, medium fast pace, I'd say, John Lever these days, rather than fast medium. And it's probably because Fletcher has put Kent in, just wants to make certain that if there are any edges around early on, his decision can be justified. One that doesn't need the assistance of a catcher. Lever has broken through with that ball that has pushed back in at the left-hander Mark Benson, and Kent are 19 for 1.
St. John Lever keeping the ball well up. He suffered a couple of times from off drives, but that one just slanting in and going through the gate. Fine piece of bowling.
19 for 1. It's in the air, but it's safe. Turner's the fielder, but he's not going to get anywhere near that. Not often Foster's straight down the leg side today. Wood was in such good form, he's able to take advantage of anything loose.
Beautifully picked up by Bob Woolmer, this. Straying down the leg side, picked up high, over, backward, short leg there.
Tabaré taking straight. Oh, very fine. Foster is the fielder, but can't make it. It was a good shot from Chris Tabaré. A neat little angle of the bat. replacement. The outfield's a little slow after the rain yesterday evening. That's still good enough to give Woolmer 4 runs, and the spectators a little bit of a scare behind that Building Society marker. Let's get a neat deflection, turn of the fielder, and that's a short boundary down to fine leg at this end nearest our commentary box. Woolmer's in good touch.
That's a beautiful shot, short, cracked away powerfully off the back foot, 4 runs all the way.
Fine shot, this. One that he seems to leave behind when he goes and plays in a test match. He really cracks that one like a rocket through square of cover. Beautiful stroke.
Turner to continue this very good spell. Yeah, a little bit of movement in. And he's out. So Woolmer goes run out. There's always been some sort of threat of a run out there. Push that straight to his left hand. Accurate throw right along the ground. And Bob Woolmer just short of his crease. So he goes for 33, leaving Kent now 62 for 2 in the 23rd over.
And here we can see this suicide run. In swinger, just pushed down and almost straight at Ray East. You can see him coming around very quickly, picking up with his left hand and underarm throw, hitting the stumps direct. And Bob Woolmer miles out.
Big crowd here of Kent supporters, a lot of people who've also come from Essex. Nice movement in the air and off the seam there by Stuart Turner, but it's still 2 runs to Derek Gaslett.
Good delivery this, swinging away, bouncing a little, going off the shoulder of the bat. And good captaincy by Keith Fletcher, having moved in a second slip to the new batsman.
2 slips there, Graham Gooch and Derek Pringle. Gooch at second, Pringle at first. Oh, good catch! Doubly good captaincy. Gooch has done it. Nice work by Fletcher to put him in there. And Aslett goes, a good delivery from Stuart Turner, has done the trick. And it's the 3rd wicket down with 68 on the board for Kent. Aslett goes for 6 and Tavares is 16 not out. But what a catch by Graham Gooch.
Well, you wouldn't see a better catch than this. Almost a reflex push at it. And Gucci going the wrong way to begin with.
Oh, close.
No question about this being a good shout. Chris Cowdery not picking up the in-swinger.
Beautifully bowled, but it's only a half-hearted appeal, and I should think it probably flicked his pad or trousers on the way through to David East.
Look at this in-swinger coming back. Bouncing, cutting through, over the top of the stumps.
It's a fine shot. Very crisp stroke away past square leg. Well, we did say early on that Gooch is a big swinger of the ball. It's one of those days where he's just not able to control it. Almost like watching an Australian side, Tom. Wides and no balls. Gooch doesn't even turn round. He knows the arms are going to be outstretched there. Might be time for the in-swinger, which will be a real surprise. We'll be disappointed about that. After an over of rubbish, he's fallen to the outswinger, the faintest of tickles, and umpire Roy Palmer gives him out. A lot of exercise for the umpire this over, with all the wides, and now the decision, but Kent in trouble. 83 for 4, Cowdery out for 5, and Tabaret is 20 not out.
And this the first and only decent delivery that Graham Gooch has bowled. Good little bit of movement off the wicket, a tiny little outside edge and straight to David East behind the stumps.
Small bowled again. Kent have moved along in fits and starts here today. They've just started to look good on a number of occasions, and then a wicket has fallen and the new batsman has had to try and play himself in. Two splendid pieces of fielding, one for Gooch to catch Aslett and the other for East to run out Bob Woolmer. And the third one there for David East to take Eldine Baptiste and pick up the 5th wicket for Essex.
And piece of misjudgment here. That one very wide by the time he played at it, but a super catch by David East.
Whitish half volley, and very firmly treated there by Chris Tavery. Just got the legs to go over the boundary ropes there, and some relief too for the very big Kent crowd here today. That's beautifully caught. Another great catch by the keeper. Alan Knott goes. Kent in real trouble now at 96 for 6. And young David East, who's picked up the award as the best wicketkeeper of the month for the month of June, is having a very, very good day again. Lever again to Johnson. He's away all right this time. Timed it very comfortably off his legs for 2 runs. 2 runs which will see Kent past the 100 mark. So the 100 coming up towards the end of the 39th over for the loss of 6 wickets. Gooch to Tavery. And his LBW, yes, a good shout this time. Umpire Palmer, no hesitation at all, up went the finger. And Tavery goes, and that really is a body blow for Kent. He goes, the captain's out for 32, leaving Kent on 103 for 7. Just into the 40th over. Safe pair of hands there by Pringle at slip. Big tall man, but it moved extremely well. It wasn't an easy catch, went very quickly off the bat, but he grabbed it, made no mistake at all. So Lever picks up his 3rd wicket in his final over, and that's the end of Richard Ellison. He goes for 2, caught Pringle, bowled Lever. That's a better looking shot. First time he strayed onto the leg stump and put away quite convincing style through mid-wicket there. So a boundary, and they've been rare in the last hour, to Graham Dilley. It's a good shot. Beautiful straight drive for 4.
Good delivery that. Wouldn't give him any room at all outside the off stump, young Foster.
Yes, I think this has been the most impressive thing about Foster is his line. A little inside edge there, but I think it was going to hit the off stump anyhow.
Close. More than close. It's out, and that's the final wicket to go down in this Kent innings, all out for 128. 15 to Graham Johnson. Derek Underwood failed to score. 128 all out. We're into the 51st over. Pringle took the last wicket. And that is not much of a total to defend.
Not much indeed. Kent must have wanted at least another 50 or so. But all credit to the Essex out cricket. Their bowlers used the conditions well and they held all their catches, several of them excitingly good ones. The turning point, I'm sure, was the run out of Bob Woolmer, who looked in very good order indeed. And after that, Essex applied the pressure. I must say, though, that Tavares and Johnson, neither of them looked in any great difficulty. Over then to the Essex bowling. And we see that John Lever got 3 wickets. It was interesting that the medium pace of Gooch and Turner got more wobble, more swing on the ball than anybody. Splendid spell that by Turner, 2 for 15, and Gooch 2 for 25. So Essex wanted only 129 to reach the final at 2.34 and over, so time was no problem at all. But joining their innings with a score 8 for no wicket, it's in the 4th over, and it's Baptiste bowling to Hardy.
Shot. Nicely timed by Brian Hardy, away through cover. And that'll make him feel so much more confident. And that will make his confidence zoom. Get the short one and hook it away. Safely away. Baptiste has a chase around to third man, picks it up beautifully. And Gooch wasn't at all sure what had happened to that one. That's a nice piece of fielding by Aldine Baptiste.
Racing away, Underwood, no chance of cutting that off at all. Or Dilly's pace, it only needs that little flick, and it's over the boundary. Dilly now to Hardy. And he was dropped. He launched himself at it. Thick outside edge. There's Aslett in the gully. Wants to get 2 hands to it, but couldn't quite hang on to it.
And Brian Hardy driving it this wide, swinging delivery. And Derek Aslett diving full length. Getting both hands to it, but just not quite clinging on. Very good effort.
Frustration of the bowler there. Lunges forward at that, catches this one in the middle of the batter's forearms. That's well bowled. Yes, and he's gone. Nice little outswing there from Alison Gooch, having to play at that. He got the line right this time. The outside edge, comfortable catch to Alan Knott, and Gooch goes 44 for 1 then, with Allison making the breakthrough. Out from close to the stumps, and there's that little bit of movement. Push forward, just a little outside edge, a faint 1-2 to Alan Knott, who made no mistake. And 13 overs completed. Oh, well bowled. That's the best ball that Wilmer has sent down today. Much too good, in fact, for Hardy. Showed a lift, a lot of movement.
Magnificent delivery. Pitching off stump, bouncing, going up the hill.
Launched into that, found the gap, that races down the hill Those extra last few yards just proving too much for Cowdrey. So the 50s up on the board. Essex. Hardy moving his contribution on to 23.
Safely away, no chance of Baptiste cutting that off. Fletcher picks up 4 more. That's the sort of thing Kent need to go to hand rather than have it fly over the top. Safely away, 4 runs. It's a big effort to arrive at the ground at 5 a.m. for what is only a semi-final. I think that's probably the chap who was here at 5. He looks the sort of fellow who'd be here at 5 a.m. for a semi-final. And he's enjoying the cricket out there in sunshine at the moment. 1.79 runs per over. Quite an easy rate. He's put him down. Well, sympathy can go to Dilly there. A fairly straightforward chance that. Bob Woolmer is the man at slip. Normally a safe pair of hands.
Yes, and no question about this. Fending away down to Bob Woolmer, and out she came. Bad luck for Graham Dilly, because he's bowled pretty well.
Hardy then keeps a strike as Baptiste begins a new over. Cleverly left there by Hardy. And runs there for Hardy. Found a very big gap. Over in mid-on. Run 2 and they should make 3 out of it. So Brian Hardy goes into the 40s now, 42. As Essex edge ever closer to this required total of 129 to win. Those two have put 50 on now. 44 to 94 came together when Graham Gooch was out. Richard Ellison to complete a very useful spell here. This will be his 11th and final over. And that's a good shot. Nicely timed. 4 runs through mid-on. Brian Hardy moves on to 46. He's been there since the start. And 46 made out of 98 for 1. A big shout gone up. Everybody thought he was out there, apart from the umpire. Quick shake of the head there from umpire Alan Whitehead. And so Brian Hardy survives. Confident appeal there on 46. Alan Knott thinking he'd added another victim. Tosses it high. Up go the slip. Up go the bowlers. All to no avail. Chris Cowdrey coming into the attack for the first time. The medium-paced seamer, swing bowler. Slightly more defensive field, only the one slip for him. He comes into Fletcher. Fletcher has made 19. Tucked away, a typical little Fletcher nudge there will bring in 2 runs. And those 2 runs will head all 100 for Essex. Fletcher goes on to a 21 and Essex on to 100 for 1, requiring just another 29 runs.
Graham Dilly now to bowl from the commentary box end. And to Brian Hardy. Another no ball, the 8th so far bowled by Graham Dilly. put him down again. That's 3 chances Brian Hardy has had today, and all of them off Graham Dilley. And that one wasn't all that difficult. It went quite quickly to Bob Woolmer. He dropped one of the earlier ones, and Derek Asler dropped the first one. Hardy got full face of the bat onto that. Woolmer got both hands to it and put it down. And it's now 103 for 1. Hardy goes on to 48. Runs for Brian Hardy. Goes to 51 with that 2 down to third man. 106 for 1 now, and Fletcher is 21. And it's been a courageous innings because Hardy has suffered that injury in the Ilford week where he was struck in the head by a fast bowler. It's his first game back. He really struggled early on. Couldn't get himself in behind the line of the fast bowling, but it takes a lot of courage to come back after an injury of that kind, and here he is, still unbeaten on 51, and still helping push Essex along to what will be a very good win.
And a very conclusive win it was by 9 wickets with 9 overs to spare. They didn't hurry over the job, but why should they? They had all the time in the world, and the ball was still moving about readily for the quicker bowlers. The Kent bowling, Graham Dilley, not his day. 3 catches missed, all off Brian Hardy. Ellison, 1 for 23, 11 overs. He looks a very promising all-rounder indeed. After it was all over, Tom Graveney adjudicated the winner of the Gold Award. He paid a special tribute to Brian Hardy for his gritty performance after that nasty injury, but he said that Hardy himself will probably admit it wasn't technically the best innings he'd ever played. He said that the Essex bowlers had won the match, as they clearly did. He paid a special tribute too to the wicketkeeper David East, and he nominated as the Gold Award winner Stuart Turner for a splendid spell in mid-innings. So, Essex move forward to their 3rd Benson and Hedges final. They beat Surrey in the final of 79. They lost the last round to Northants, not by much, in 1980. And now